What is going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everyone, as always, is having a fantastic day, boys and girls. Welcome back to the ATX Crypto channel, where of course we uncover trends, insights, and stories that help shape the crypto market. Today we're actually diving into one of the biggest questions for the RH ecosystem, and that is, can PulseChain disrupt the Ethereum dominance for this cycle? Will HEX reach the magical $1 mark? And of course, more importantly, folks, how do you position yourself for these potential moves while staying grounded in this very volatile crypto market? So stick around, because I'm not just here to talk numbers today. I'll walk you through the opportunities, the risks, and of course, every emotional trap an investor faces. Not every emotional trap, but the emotional traps that every investor faces during pivotal moments like these. So let's start with PulseChain, folks. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. So much love. Be sure to share, be sure to smash a like and subscribe as well. Much love to everyone on that. So with PulseChain, folks, this name is beginning to buzz everywhere. You're starting to hear a little bit more of the mainstream influencers come out and start talking about PulseChain. And folks, this is designed to fix Ethereum's weakness. PulseChain, of course, boasts faster transactions, lower gas fees, and a scalable ecosystem that's quickly going to incorporate within DeFi. You can use it for NFTs and more. But what makes PulseChain unique? Well, folks, y'all already know it is built as an Ethereum fork. It is an entire system state of the Ethereum copies. So all of the tokens back on May 12th of 2023 that you were holding inside of your Ethereum wallet actually got copied over into PulseChain. So you actually have tokens waiting over there. If you haven't checked on that already, I highly advise you go find out, because you do have some tokens on there, which is extra money for you right now. It means it directly supports all the Ethereum compatible tools and platforms as well, making adoption that much easier for people who develop, for people who build, and of course, even users alike as well. So therefore, PulseChain isn't just competing with it, it is actually enhancing the Ethereum experience. Because right now, the Ethereum fees, while they are in a relatively good position today with Gwei, there's been times lately where it just costs a stupid amount of money to actually transact on the Ethereum network. So PulseChain helps fill some gaps in a market where Ethereum still struggles with scalability and even the high fees. Right now, the overall crypto market is in a volatile yet very optimistic place. I think everyone is about to enter into what's known as the banana zone. This is where projects with strong fundamentals such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, PulseChain are going to be holding the ground, but Ethereum's performance has been struggling, and it's a little bit hard to ignore, right? Especially with all the other tokens beginning to pump. We've seen Solana start making new all-time highs, and other tokens that are similar to an Ethereum particular chain or EVM fork start actually performing a little bit better. So the high gas fees are in fact showing to begin to turn users away, right? So it's essentially, it's a slow scalability, and it has absolutely left the door open for challengers such as Avalanche, such as Solana, and of course, PulseChain to put their foot in the door and actually start making their place known in the crypto landscape. But folks, here's the thing. Ethereum is still the king of the smart contracts. There are still more developers on the Ethereum blockchain than any other blockchain out there. There's more liquidity locked away in Ethereum as well. So therefore, PulseChain's success does in fact depend on the ability to actually prove it's not just an alternative, but in fact a long-term solution for Ethereum's pain point. So we're about to see that entering into this cycle right now. A lot of people are kind of seeing a lot of other tokens begin to pump. So we're going to be pulling up a particular chart that should help alleviate some of the pain, but let you see that we do have some actual big numbers ahead, folks. And I do mean that with all sincerity, right? But before we get into all the big numbers and all that as well, I want to discuss of course, the big question that's on everyone's mind, and that is, can HEX reach $1, right? Everyone's wondering, I've been holding this token for so long, what's gonna happen with it? We now have 2 copies of it, one on the PulseChain copy, one on the Ethereum copy. So HEX's price history is volatile, y'all. It is very volatile, but it is very impressive as well, right? It does have a unique staking model that I personally absolutely love, and I believe it's something that everyone should at least stake out 55-55. I know a lot of influencers are out there talking about, I don't want to stake anymore and all this crazy nonsense, but guys, there is no way to know what the future holds. And so if you were to go lock up $1,000 for 15 years, is it really that much of a pain in the butt for you right now to do that? And if it is, obviously you're just looking to make even more gains this cycle. But I've always been a mindset that I'd much rather be a part of the ecosystem in crypto, especially not knowing what is very possible for crypto as well. There are times when Bitcoin has gone and done stupid things, Ethereum has gone and done stupid things, Solana has gone and done stupid things, HEX has gone and done stupid things. And by stupid things, I mean massive exponential gains. Many people are gonna wash themselves out by selling too early. So one of the benefits of staking your HEX is you are here for the long haul. It does have a penalty for actually ending the stake early, which I believe should be enforced as well. And when someone does end their stake early, the penalties are actually divvied up and rewarded to those people who actually believe in the staking mechanism. I pulled it up on the Patreon stream today, but there was a day where someone ended a stake early and he actually got 60 HEX per T-share. If you don't know what a T-share is, it's part of what you get when you stake your HEX. So when you stake your HEX, you actually thereby burn your HEX. You essentially, send it to a burn address, and in return, you're given a T-share. Those T-shares are what pay you daily HEX every single day. It's been working flawlessly since inception. It is now 5.1 years old at this point in time. It just passed the 5-year mark December 2nd of 2024. So it's been around since 2019. It's been flawlessly paying out T-share HEX every single day, and there has not been one issue with it at all. So being that it's done so well, I want to be a part of this whenever it's here 10 years, 15 years, and further down the road. I don't want to be here just this cycle making mad gains in money. That is going to be what's going to happen regardless of what crypto you're in. It is about to enter a banana zone where things just go absolutely parabolic across the board. But I do want to still be here whenever I'm 2029, 2033, 2037. I want to be a part of that moment as well. I don't want to sell my HEX too early, because maybe we do see $1 this cycle. Maybe we see way beyond $1 this cycle. Because HEX isn't about just scarcity, it does thrive on market confidence as well. And so for HEX to hit $1 or more, it needs consistent demand and of course continued community-driven adoption. And I think our community by far has been one of the loudest, most impressive communities in terms of the outreach, the amount of emotions that we share with our ecosystem, with RH ecosystem. It's been absolutely incredible, right? So therefore, of course, while it's technically possible, the road to $1 and beyond does depend on factors like overall market conditions and HEX's ability to attract new users. Just recently, HEX actually made the top 5 MetaMask swaps as well, right? So that's always pretty darn impressive too, right? So you can actually start seeing everything as well. Absolutely incredible times to be looking ahead. I'll get to the chat in just a second, folks, so be sure to keep on writing the chat on that one with you. I'll be checking the chat here in just a second. But this is where, of course, it does get fascinating, right? So if you don't remember, Polygon or Matic, back in November of 2020, it actually traded just around a penny. And by February of 2021, it actually climbed to 4 cents, so making it roughly about a 3x move. Of course, that is what should happen for a lot of the tokens that are out there in the crypto market right now. We're entering in that same phase from the end of November on into really February. But right around that time, it's going to hit an inflection point. And this inflection point is absolutely explosive because from February to May, it exploded to $2, okay? So a 16,000% gain, or another way of saying it is 160x gain from the time period of November to May. So meanwhile, during that same time, Bitcoin only moved from 16,000 to 36,000 during that same time. So timing and patience were everything, and those who rotate too early will miss out on mad profits to be had around this time. It's looking to be around this time right now where you are going to see mad profits taken. I think overall, yeah, exactly. Overall, what you actually begin seeing is people who rotate too early. I saw on a Reddit post earlier this week talking about, I got 100 million PulseX and I'm really seeing all these other tokens start pumping. Should I do XYZ and should I swap it for XYZ? And they go start chasing the pumps. They don't actually have conviction in the tokens that they have. And right now, this is one of the biggest hurdles you are going to face. It's one of the biggest challenges. It's not the market, y'all. It's you. It's the mentality that you have to maintain to be able to actually be disciplined to withstand a bull market. The bear market is easy. I've shared this before in the past. The bear market is simple enough. The price goes down, you buy more and you lower your average. The price goes down, it sucks, it hurts, you buy more, you lower your average. The price goes down, you eventually stop looking if you just don't want to be looking at it anymore. But on the bull market, it's the exact opposite. It's fear, it's FOMO, it's emotions, it's greed, it's all of your emotions all packed in all at once. You start seeing other tokens start rally like crazy and yours may be stagnant, not doing anything. So you want to go chase the one that's pumping, and oftentimes that does lead you to a disaster. I've used this metaphor in the past, but it's just like in office space or in general when you're in traffic and you're in the left lane and that left lane is stuck and it's not going anywhere and all the lanes to the right of you are just moving and moving and moving, and so you get over into the right lane, and as soon as you do, that lane stops, and then now the left lane is moving. This is what is going to happen with crypto. In terms of crypto, it's you holding onto a token, maybe not doing anything as crazy as other tokens right now, and then all these other tokens are flying. They've done 2x, 5x, 10x, whatever the number is. They've gone up and done some numbers, so you swap your tokens into these other tokens, and unfortunately, when you do that, that is when the token that you swapped out of begins to rally and begins to pump. And this will happen so many times during a bull market. It is absolutely wild to see. This is where people begin to, as the prices pump, they begin to over leverage into riskier tokens. They throw their exit strategy and profit taking shit out the window. Thinking the market's going to continue to go up and rally forever upon ever upon ever, and it'll be an indefinite pump. And while that would be beautiful to see, it hasn't proven that one time in the past. So why would I believe this time is different? You begin to share your wins. You begin to take screenshots of your portfolio, but you don't take any profit. And so you begin putting a target on your back unnecessarily. I've shared this in the past, folks, but if you have a spouse, significant other, or anyone in general, it's always fun to share in the joy of winning. But until that money hits the account and put that money in the account, don't be showing that kind of stuff to them. It's unnecessary. Personally, it's not worth it at that point in time, because oftentimes there will be a pullback, and that pullback is not only devastating mentally to watch your portfolio, for example, go from $200,000 to $60,000 on a 70% pullback, for example, but it also ends up being in such a way that you also didn't take any profit, and so now you have someone over your shoulder looking at the prices with you saying sell, sell, sell. Someone who was not a part of the entire rally in the first place, and now they're trying to get you to do something you never wanted to do in the first place, and oftentimes they end up winning. You say, you know what, you're right, I had 10,000, it turned it into 200,000. I did great, I didn't take profit, it's now 60,000. I'm still up, I'm just gonna go ahead and sell. And when you sell, that is oftentimes just like traffic, the thing starts rallying like crazy. So one, never exit entirely out of positions unless it's meme coins, guys. I've always been a fan of, yes, you can hold on to the moon bag. Make sure you got a small little bag of whatever in case it does decide to move, but meme coins, sell them, guys. right? Take profit and take harder profit than you normally would. And we're gonna like get into some charts here in a second and look at the overall ecosystem too. But you know, HEX and PulseChain have incredible potential, but also of course they come with a bigger risk. If they didn't come with a bigger risk, there wouldn't be as big of a reward, right? Otherwise you would just go into Bitcoin and possibly even from today still see 2.5x your money, with Bitcoin hitting $250,000. That's absolutely a good return for the average person, but we're not average, guys. I think y'all know that. We're a little bit crazy. We want the bigger returns. We want the bigger outsized returns as well. Just like if you branched a little bit further and took a little bit more risk into Ethereum, you may end up seeing something like 15,000, and that's a 5x return on the money. And as you slowly get further and further out, the risk to reward becomes a lot greater, right? So we're looking at a token that has the potential to do 1,000x from today. And so we're gonna look at some stuff as well, because while PulseChain is going to be a strong competitor to Ethereum, and HEX has a potential to not only reach $1, but also go beyond $1, it does hinge on market confidence and community strength. And so I wanted to remind everyone as well, success in crypto isn't just about picking winners. It's about managing your emotions, protecting your gains, and staying informed. So I hope that gives some insights into some of this information as well, because overall, whenever I start looking right here, these are a potential gains for these tokens, y'all. This is HEX, EHEX, PulseChain, PulseX, and even the Ink token. What I did was I just put it from all-time lows from the prices where they were at recently. I'm not doing the all-time low of EHEX when it was on Ethereum. I did the all-time lows from EHEX from PulseChain launch, okay? So looking at this right here, just reaching a 10x, you can see where these prices would end up reaching, right? You see 3 cents for HEX on Ethereum, or HEX on PulseChain, which, by the way, we're pretty darn close to hitting that right now, right? If I go over here to HEX right now, it's essentially at 2.766 cents. So it's almost done a 10x from the all-time low, okay? You start getting into EHEX, which is also sitting at a penny, which, by the way, looking at the Ethereum HEX chart, we're also roughly about 37% away from reaching that penny mark. Not too far away. And again, this puts us back into the March timeframe where you start end up seeing some of these gains around this area, okay? And this is where I could potentially see the movement actually going up next. So we're about to see 10x's not only on HEX on PulseChain, HEX on Ethereum, also PulseChain is going to be looking at 3025. PulseX is in this same situation as well. The Ink token is $7.54. Guys, these are just a 10x in the ecosystem from the all-time low. What's funny is we've already gotten pretty darn close to almost getting a 10x from the all-time lows in these tokens. Now, people are like, that's just not good enough, and I understand, I get it. So let's get a little bit further away from the 10x and start looking at the 25x and even beyond. 25x puts us still below 10 cents, which I absolutely believe can happen very quickly, y'all. And I do mean very quickly. Again, whenever I said the previous rally from the Matic token itself, when it went from 4 cents to $2, that was in the span of 3 months, y'all. That was from February to May. That was super fast. And it can happen so quickly, you just lose sight on what is actually available. So don't lose your exit strategy. Don't forget to take profits along the way. I highly suggest, in fact, learning a profit-taking strategy that you can implement yourself. I share with my Patreon members down below. We just had a stream, and next week we're going to be going into further details about several different profit-taking strategies as well. Not only how you can have a simple strategy, but also how you can be a little bit more advanced, and then lastly, how you can actually earn some passive income on the profits that you've taken. We're going to be diving into that next week, but I do a weekly stream with my Patreon members. Just wrap that one up, so I'm going to be doing that next week. If you want to, you're welcome to join the link down below, patreon.com/ATXCrypto. More than happy to share the insights with y'all as well. Or if you become a member of YouTube as well, you can also get access to the Patreon group too. Down here, just reaching a 25x still puts us here below 10 cents on HEX, on PulseChain HEX, puts us at 2 cents over on HEX. And guys, we are just getting started at the 25x level. Now, several people believe this is going to be the max that you're going to see inside the RH ecosystem, and I just do not believe that for one flippin' second. Okay, I don't believe that at all. However, let's have some fun. Let's just say these numbers do play out as they are right now. Let's just say you've gone and done a 25x as well. Again, from whatever your initial capital is on your portfolio right now, let's just say you're working with $10,000. A 25x return on that still gives us a beautiful $250,000 portfolio. Now, is that enough for everyone to go and retire on? Absolutely not. But is it a good enough return that you should be able to put some of this into your bank account at that point in time, especially toward the end of the market? Maybe put 100K in the bank from this example? Absolutely. But again, you have to make that determination for yourself. Now, I believe we go way beyond not only 25x, I believe that the numbers actually are closer to 1000x. And by the way, putting us even at a 300x on these tokens right now would still put these numbers in a ridiculous, beautiful world right now, okay? So even at a 300x, that puts HEX over on PulseChain at $1, folks. Congrats. You got the $1 HEX that we're looking for right now. And do I believe this is possible? Yes, not only do I believe it's possible, I believe it is likely to happen. So this is a 300x, and should these levels get hit, you can see where the numbers are. It would put HEX on PulseChain at $1.07. It would put HEX on Ethereum at 30 cents. It would put HEX on, or it would put PulseChain around 2 zeros and a 7, so sub 1 penny, which by the way, that is a psychological threshold. So I believe we're going to see some resistance around the 400x mark for PulseChain. We're going to get into that in just a second. Even on PulseX, it would put it at 2 zeros and a 2. Again, 2/10 of a penny, 2.6 of a penny. That is damn good returns. Once again, if you use this same exact logic and you had $10,000 initially and you get to see a 300x capital return, you now are sitting on $3 million. Okay, congrats. That's winning. That is guys, if you see over 100x in any crypto, you're smashing it. Straight up smashing. So even the numbers that you're looking at right here, you're crushing the game. But I want everyone to make sure you have some plan in place to take some profit, guys, because you're going to see a portfolio bigger than you've ever seen before in your life. And that is a good thing. But the thing to understand about it is you also have to make sure that you're ready to take profits accordingly. Right? Whoops. Let me move myself up just a smidge. Yeah, let me just move myself just a little bit right here. All right, cool. So that puts us here over on the 300x potential return. Guys, this is very possible. Not only is it very possible, I think it's very likely to happen, which Inc would be $226. Again, PulseX would be 2 zeros and a 2. PulseChain would be 2 zeros and a 7. Do the math on whatever your portfolio is on just the 300x. Again, if you had $1 million HEX, congrats. When it reached $1, you're sitting on $1 million just in HEX alone. Now, this is where people are going to regret staking. They're going to say, I don't want to stake. I don't believe in it because I once had $1 million and I couldn't do anything with it because if I did end my stake early, I'm going to be penalized and blah, 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 blah. While that is all true, you should also have other tokens as well that you can use to take profit on. You shouldn't just be relying on HEX. In fact, HEX should be your long-term play anyways. HEX should be one of those tokens you should be looking to lock up long-term as well, right? If you don't have any 15-year stakes, send it out long. What's the worst that'll happen? You lose $1,000, for example, if you locked up $1,000 for 15 years? Sure. You missed out on the chance for that $1,000 to turn into all these other things. That is greed coming to play, because you should have a position available in all of the core tokens for HEX on PulseChain, HEX on Ethereum, for PulseChain, for PulseX, and even including the Ink token, whether that's through farming or whether that's by purchasing from the market, okay? And by the Ink token, I do mean the incentive token, not the new one that just got launched. So guys, this is what I want to share because, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy for me to imagine, you know, this situation happening, right? It is absolutely crazy to be picturing what could potentially be possible just in the very near future. And just like we used with the Matic example, sitting around a penny, the November timeframe to reaching 4 cents by the February timeframe, and then it going off to reaching $2 in the span of 3 freaking months. It happens so incredibly fast, y'all. And I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to win. But if you don't have a plan in place, you are likely to end up screwed. Okay? What's going on, Academaciated? What's up, Ten Top? Pimp Barbecue Sauce, what's cooking in the kitchen? Chilling, man. I can't believe I'm catching you live. Is this real? Yeah. Cookie to Chocolate. What's funny is the thing actually said I didn't go live, but then I am live. And so I was kind of a little bit, you know, concerned about it. Anyways, long story short, we're here. We're having fun. We're enjoying what is available, guys. Welcome to middle of December right now. Today is December 15th at the time of this recording. We have a beautiful time ahead, not only leading us into 2025, where January and February are awesome, bullish months in the crypto landscape. We have Bitcoin going off and actually breaking, you know, 103,000 today. Now, it didn't stay there for long, for example, right? You can actually see it actually came right up here in this example and hit right up right for today. So far, it's hit 103,414 with the all-time high so far at 103,647. This is absolutely bullish, guys. Absolutely bullish. 103 for Bitcoin. Whoops. 103 for Bitcoin. And this is just where it gets started because Ethereum is right behind it as well. And I know that, again, Ethereum is lagging, right, in terms of the overall crypto landscape, because you look at tokens like Solana, where it did break its previous all-time high, right? And it actually started breaking through these previous all-time highs all the way back here in 2021. So people are starting to rush into Solana. What's funny about this particular chart, though, or what's interesting, should I say, is even from the all-time lows to right now, you know, it's done 28x since November or December of 2022. But it all really started happening toward the end of December, entering into the early years of January, February as well. So you can see every single time we begin to have some of these pumps and rallies on these tokens, it's toward the end of the year, and then it goes absolutely bananas typically as well. So even over the last year, because again, I know a lot of people, you know, entered crypto in the last year. For example, I did a poll on Twitter the other day. Yeah, absolutely exciting times ahead, Benny, for sure, for sure. I did a poll on Twitter the other day, and I was essentially trying to figure out where people entered into crypto, right? And so some people have been in really since 2021, but I'd say majority of people haven't yet experienced a full crypto cycle, right? You haven't gone through a bear and into a bull. Yes, you may have experienced a bull market, which may have got you in 2021, but you experienced the bull and then the bear. And so it kind of like it flips your mindset a little bit. There's people coming into this crypto game right now that have not been in this game before and have really just started entering, right? And so they're seeing coins like this where like, oh my God, it's breaking all-time highs. I need to get into this coin right here, right? And so they start entering all of their positions and they start exiting out of the core plays because why? Well, this one's pumping and mine's not, right? And so like, I just don't advise that by any stretch of the imagination, especially not whenever you have so close to where we're about to be right now in this crypto market with PulseChain, with PulseX, and all of the other tickers as well. But the potential to see 1,000x on these tokens isn't that hard and far-fetched, y'all. 1,000x for HEX, by the way, would put it at $3.58 for HEX on PulseChain. 1,000x for Ethereum HEX would put it at $1 for HEX on Ethereum. 1,000x for PulseChain, 2.5 cents. Incredible stuff to start seeing. We passed the penny mark at 400x. And then you can see how quickly, like even over here, it's only a 2.5x. But because you're in so early, you were absolutely smashing it, right? You don't only see a 2.5x between the difference of these two tokens right here. You actually get a massive difference of even greater earnings, right? This is a 600x for you, where someone entering the market right here at a 400x potential, when it reaches a penny and they're just now hearing about it, they're gonna be super freaking stoked. And a lot of people, y'all, they're gonna exit when we do a 10x. Like, let me just be clear as day. Several people are waiting till we get back up to SAC and they're gonna exit. And by all means, they have whatever right to do whatever they want at the end of the day. I just think that's a crazy time to do that, but hey, to each their own, right? Several people are going to exit on a 10x and they're going to cash out completely, and they're going to probably miss out and kick themselves on what is the opportunity of a lifetime. So I just wanted to share that because, again, folks, this opportunity does come around once every 4 years, and it typically lasts anywhere between 12 to 18 months. We've already essentially entered 8 months into this bull market right here. So we have, about 9 months remaining right now for things to really go. I'm always sleeping. Yeah, cool graphics. Appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, I got a little new setup right here. Just enjoying everything as well. Rocket Mob in the house. What's cooking in the kitchen? Pimp barbecue sauce. What's shellacking, Hexicans? What's going on? Checks my pulse. Future Wealth Squad. Absolutely good to see you forward. Look forward to your streams. Appreciate that. 100% crypto long-term saves you. It sure does. Sure does. Incredible that people swap on MetaMask. Paying such high fees is crazy. Yeah, I think it's crazy too, in all reality. Like, yes, you can do it right inside MetaMask for sure. But you have to pay an additional fee every single time you do that, whereas you can just go on a decentralized exchange and swap it there, which, hey, whatever works for you works for me, because goodness gracious, that would be awesome. Yeah, incredible stuff, right? So yeah, you're starting to see MetaMask, HEX show up as well in the top 5 there. So let me just kind of see. Yep, breaking. Yeah, this is from Havid right here, and yeah, so whenever I pull it up on stream, boom, you can actually see breaking. HEX just became HEX just became the 4th most swapped token on MetaMask. They said HEX was dead. It's now one of the 4th most swapped tokens on Ethereum. RH products are becoming global phenomenons right before our eyes. We're here to stay. Top 3 is next. So you can see, happy Friday, DGens. You know what time it is. Here's what you've been swapping this past week, and you can see Pepe Unchained, Pepe, Baby Doge, HEX, and Sheed, right? People are just doing the swaps directly in MetaMask, but hey, to each their own. This is a fire little picture as well. I like that. Shout out to Havid on that one. Always good stuff, guys. Always good stuff. But I wanted to share that because everyone thinks that it's dead. And, I just kind of find that comical, right? When you start looking at some of these prices, we are far beyond a dead situation, right? Here, 1 second, y'all. All right, cool. So let me just kind of pull up some more information overall real fast with everyone too. Pull up some fun charts to be seeing that we can actually see what's going on this one. Take that. Yeah. What's up, A-Fam? How you doing? Good to see you, Cookie. Absolutely good to see everybody once again as well. We got Prospector in the house. Okay, cool. Here, 1 second, y'all. All right, I'm back. Yo. Exactly. Everyone's saying hello to everybody as well. Prospector, what's up? 10 days till Christmas. Damn, a lot can happen in 10 days. Absolutely, I want a green Christmas. I do too. 10% minimum HEX will never sell. Yeah, 100%. I definitely do believe that. Ladania Moore says, hey people, nice background ATX. Appreciate that. BankX only has 221 million EHEX left. The EHEX play is going to work out for believers. I know, dude, that is freaking stupid amount of EHEX, but hey, they've been dumping as much as they can every chance they can, and they have less and less and less, and that's a good thing. Stop telling them how to do certain things with their HEX. If they want to sell, let them sell. Let the price drop, and let's just recover and be done with them. They've been swapping it into Ethereum, so good riddance of them. You know what I mean? 100% A fam. This is my first bear market. Sobering, dude. It is brutal. And this is a little bit longer of a bear market because of the RH ecosystem and how it worked. I think had PulseChain never launched, for example, we would see HEX on Ethereum probably already back up or even above, you know, the 10-cent threshold. It's tough to say what would have happened. Obviously, you can't go back and change time and say it would have been this way, but it has been a sobering experience for several people as well. I got the full bear market experience. Thank you. Look forward to the first cycle 100%, and a lot of people are about to enter that as well, where they get to see their rags turn into beyond riches, which is why I do want people to actually be ready for taking profits, guys. I do believe in it. There is a easy way of taking profits, there's a more advanced way, and there's even a further way as well. Again, I'm diving into that with the Patreon members next week on the stream on Sunday. We see, I know how it feels, but we made it. Now's the fun part. And again, this is where a lot of people are still going to fail, right? This is where a lot of people have a very tough time. The bull market is actually tougher than a bear market because your portfolio grows at such a fast pace that you think that's never going to stop, and so greed comes in. So you don't take profits according to your profit taking schedule, for example, and then you see a pullback, and that pullback can be brutal. It can be a 70%, 80% pullback in the span of just a few weeks, guys. This actually happened with, you know, we can pull up like Avalanche, for example. This is one of those tokens that did pretty darn crazy during the bull market last year. And you know, I'll even just probably pull up, here we go. Yeah, so I'll pull up Avalanche on this one just so you can kind of see, you know, what ended up happening. But this is a brutal time, right? And so, here we go. Cool. So this is where you start seeing things go pretty crazy, right? You got December of 2020 down here, right? So we're down here in this little chart right now. And December of 2020, it starts rallying up like crazy. It's like boom, it begins going crazy, right? So now you've already hit, you know, from this level of $3, somewhere below $3, above the $48 range, above the 10x, right? So you've gone and done a 10x pretty darn quick, if you ask me. But then what happens is you either go sideways for a little bit, which is also tough for people to do because you think, man, we rallied up so fast, what's going on? Sure, you know, do I do something? Do I not do something? And then you see it dip, and this dip can actually wash out several people. It's not just the non-believers, but this dip was a 78% dip in the span of 2 months, okay? A little bit more than 2 months, 77 days, before it actually started rallying back up. And heck, even if you measure it over here, it took 3 months for it to even just get back to its previous, you know, high at that point in time. So a lot of people are like, holy shit, you know, I started down here, I had 10,000, I turned it into 100,000, you know, I did crazy good stuff at the 100K mark over here, and then I watched it go back down to 30K. Or even 20K in this example, because it basically hit 80% dip at that point. And so they're like, oh my gosh, it's now, you know, 20K and I had 100K and, you know, my head's all messed up, and is it ever going to recover, and should I sell? And so a lot of people just get out down here because they're like, well, I don't know if it's going to recover, but 20K is 20K, you know, and then it goes up and then it rallies up again. And then you're like, holy shit, I sold down here at the bottom. What was I thinking? Why did I sell? What was I doing? And then over here, it's all the way back up again, you know, breaking $170, for example, when you were buying it down here at $2.70, right? And so you're like, dude, I absolutely botched that one up, right? And so this happens very, very frequently, unfortunately. And it's not just, you know, this example, but, you know, that's a 55x right there. And so your 10K that you were looking at is now 550K up here, but it was 100K right here and it went down to 22, right? And then it went up, if you just held and did nothing, to 500. But so often do people wash themselves out during this market right here, which is again why you take profits along the way, guys. Like, you learn to not only take profits on this rally up, but you take profits here and then here and then here and then here. You could do it at certain thresholds if you really wanted to, or you just choose to do it at certain intervals, right? So you got the 10x, cool, take some profits, guys. What's the harm in that, right? And then it goes down and you're like, all right, cool. I don't really care. I took some profits. I did well. I wish I would have taken more profits. Sure, that's what everyone will always say. I wish I would have done XYZ. I wish I could have done XYZ. And then all of a sudden it just rallies back up again. And you're like, damn, all I had to do was just wait. And all I had to do was be patient, but I was weak-handed and I shook myself out. You can look at these charts right here. Guys, this is Matic again whenever it's going up and doing its run. This is a 234x right here, 235x in the span of, I mean, heck, what is that? From October of 2020 to April of 2021. That's very short period of time to see a 235x. And again, so when you start getting into these numbers over here of where we could potentially be going at 200x, well, you can see it puts these charts over here, 71 cents for HEX on PulseChain, 20 cents for HEX on Ethereum, 0.005 for PulseChain, 0.001 for PulseX, $150 for Ink. Again, these numbers, while they seem crazy, which they are, right? When you start looking, they happen, and they happen very frequently, y'all. And then followed by that, because you didn't take any profit, you just went down to 77% at that point in time, 78%. In this span, I mean, you can see it lasted until July before it actually started rallying. And even before it got back up to that high again, which by the way, it just hit the high and it barely ended up getting the high again. It was all the way up until December of 2021, right? And so like, are you really going to be mad that you didn't take profit along the way? Absolutely. You're going to be beating yourself up. You didn't take profit here. 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 And you damn sure didn't take profit here, right? And a lot of people are going to watch their portfolio go down 77%. This is a brutal thing to experience, guys. And again, that wasn't the only dip that you had to encounter, right? This dip was a 46% dip, which people had no idea what was going to happen. This dip was a 36% dip. Yeah, 34% dip right here. And these dips are going to happen. They absolutely happen. So get ready for the dips to show up and present themselves. They will make themselves known, unfortunately, across the market. It's a crazy freaking time. We are absolutely in the right place, guys. This is why I say, when you start looking at what is potentially possible for not only PulseChain, PulseX, and the RH ecosystem of HEX, Ink, and EHEX, I look at all the previous charts in general, and I see that with the strong community, which by the way, we still have one of the loudest communities, not only in Twitter, but also even on YouTube. You can start seeing all of these gains, right? Been waiting so long for PulseChain to start making X's. It almost seems like a fantasy that anything like that could happen. Dimeback Crypto, this is why many people are going to wash themselves out. They're absolutely going to be like, you know what? I had a chance, and let me just kind of pull this one up real fast. I think I don't know if I saved it or not on this one to see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see what I can get going on this real fast. One sec. 2 questions. Will those who sacrifice get rich? Always fun to see. Yeah, see, like this person over here. How do I swap? Yeah, I'll just kind of pull this one up real quick. Excuse me. Whoops. Where'd you go? Where did you go? I miss you so. All right, so this is an example of essentially someone who is, going through what I would consider their first cycle, right? Like this only really happens. You only see questions like this kind of happen whenever it's someone's first cycle. So they say, how do I swap all my Pulse in one transaction? I want to sell my Pulse for another coin, XRP, Solana, etc. However, in Change Now and other exchanges, there's a limit of 6.65 million Pulse, but I have 70 million Pulse. Is there a way to swap in one transaction rather than 10? And so people are willing to exit their positions right now because of these other tokens pumping. This isn't the only item I've seen pop up like this, but this is an example of someone who could potentially be missing out on some crazy freaking numbers. Like, let's just use our numbers for example, right? If they had 70 million Pulse chain tokens and it turned into even 100x, okay? So that would put it at 20258. That would still be $180,000 on that one. And I don't know if they're going to see that kind of gain come from swapping into another token, right? That's part of the risk that you run for sure. and you're willing to do whatever you want at the end of the day. If you want to go and swap your tokens, by all means, go and swap your tokens. But like literally, we're about to enter what is probably going to be one of the craziest times in history for crypto right now, because when you get into Q1 of crypto, while Q4 is bullish for sure, you can see Q4 bullish right here, Q4 bullish right here for the PulseChain, or for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. You start getting into the monthly returns of where everything starts going as well. So when you start getting into monthly returns for December, or for January and February, they are pretty big numbers over here, right? And again, let me just kind of make it a little bit easier to see. So you end up getting these big numbers right here, right? You end up seeing, you know, somewhere in the ballpark of 0.62% in January, followed by 43% up in February, followed by 16% in March. I could see something like this happening as well, especially when you start getting into the Ethereum chart. Ethereum or January and February for Ethereum are typically very bullish months, especially when you enter bull market years. 78% up in January alone on this one. Even in 2017, 31% up in January alone. And so when you start looking at these charts and say, you know, I have Ethereum, it's over here, and it does a, what, 30% increase, right? 30% increase puts us in the ballpark of about 5,200 for Ethereum, which again breaks previous all-time highs in January. You know, you start looking at 76% type deals in January as well, being a bull market year, it puts us around $6,700 dollars for the Ethereum price. And the beautiful part is when you start comparing against, you know, PulseChain and the Ethereum price and how it's actually working and how they are also correlated, these numbers get absolutely wild, right? This is where you can start seeing not only 38% return on these particular tokens, but even double that as well, right? So this is when we're back up to 4 zeros and a 2, somewhere in this ballpark on a 2.5x. These are the areas that I'm going to be paying attention to, especially come the month of January, if not the end of December, depending upon how crazy things get, right? If Bitcoin wants to go off and rally and start taking off and end up reaching these levels of 120, 125, 130K at the end of the month, and if you end up in a situation like we have right now, when you look at the ETH BTC ratio, for example, so where is that chart for me? There it is. So you get into the ETH BTC ratio back here, and the benefit here on this one is, guys, you end up getting a lot of different items pulled up as well, right? And so you can actually start seeing, based upon what we've done in the past, we are still falling in this little trend right now. And again, if it's around 0.037, and you know, Bitcoin is at 125,000 and we're at 0.037 ratio between that, it still puts Ethereum at $4,600, right? Damn near $100 and $200 away from its previous all-time high. That is not that far to make it. Again, this is where you start getting into some crazy freaking numbers, especially when it comes to PulseChain and the tickers over here. So hopefully that gives everyone some, you know, bullish momentum as well. So you can kind of feel what's going to be happening in the near term future, in my personal opinion. So you can kind of see at least where I think prices could end up going. Some potential prices as well, if you just wanted to pull it up and just play around and see, if I had XYZ amount of tokens, this would be worth XYZ amount of dollars, and then make plans to take profit along the way. Guys, if you turn 10K into 100K, I hope you end up taking your initial capital back out. It's not that much. If you turn 10K into 500K, I hope you pull out, you know, 5x your initial capital. It's not that much. And again, don't be greedy with this, y'all. Is it worth to buy HEX now? Yeah, I mean, HEX is still well below everything too. So, you know, HEX is going to follow pretty closely with all the tickers as well. So when you start getting into some of these tokens and tickers, it's absolutely a good opportunity as well, right? So whenever I pull this up, for example, this is the HEX chart right here. Whoops. This is the HEX chart right here. We are still below previous highs in March. So like even just getting back up to here in this range, which is a pretty good resistance level already. That's just kind of where the beginning ends up being. And then this is the previous chart of, you know, HEX on Ethereum. when it entered PulseChain, right? So that's all I'm using whenever I'm pulling up these particular prices. I'm not going back and looking at what HEX previously did and all that good stuff. It's always fun to see for sure, but let's just look at the actual chart from what it is today. And so you start pulling up some pretty big numbers, right? If I start pulling up like a fib extension between these particular tokens as well, from, you know, previous high to previous low from right now on the chart, and then I pull up, let's just pull up a 4236 and 3618 level. It still puts HEX around the 6 cent level, somewhere in this ballpark. When you start pulling up the fib extension, which again, where we currently are is still a nice 10x from your money on that one. Which again, 10x your capital, guys, is pretty damn awesome. Again, I'm a fan of staking HEX as well. So not only do you get to 10x your capital, but you get to earn more HEX by staking it. So that's what I end up doing, right? Here we go. They say awesome hopium. Give me that dopamine. Appreciate the Danny and more. Appreciate that as well. But guys, I mean, yeah, that's what I just wanted to share some charts on this one. I've been kind of like feeling some people kind of getting a little bit worried about what's happening with the ecosystem, what's not happening, I guess, with the ecosystem. And I just want to remind everyone that, guys, we're still plenty early over here. There's still so much more stuff to be happening. And again, if y'all ever have any questions, y'all know you can leave them down in the comments below. I do check all the comments. I do read them as well. And until the next stream, I hope everyone has a fantastic and wonderful weekend. So much love to every single one of y'all. If you want to, smash the like button on the way out. Stick around, leave a comment behind as well. Tell me what your favorite part of the stream was, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be.